Sins and Roses. Episode 2. Still haunted by Sadef's accusations, Sirhat calls her and demands that she take him to the clinic she mentioned. Sadef agrees. When they arrive, Sadef tells the doctor that Sirhat knows everything and wants the truth. Sirhat firmly asks the doctor to explain what happened 6 years ago. The doctor refuses, saying that all patient records are confidential and that he cannot disclose any information without the patient's consent. He explains that only Barak herself can authorize the release of her medical records. Sirhat reveals that Barak is currently in a coma and that the doctors do not know whether she will survive. He pleads with the doctor to tell him the truth, but the doctor remains bound by medical confidentiality. Frustrated, Sirhat warns the doctor that if he refuses to cooperate, he will have no choice but to involve his lawyers down on him. As they leave the clinic, Sirhat turns to Sadef and asks the question that has been weighing on his mind: who is the father of Barak's child? Sadef tells him that she honestly doesn't know. She explains that she and Barak had been estranged for years and that the last time she saw her was when Barak came to the clinic for a routine checkup. Beyond that, she claims she knows nothing about the child's father. After a brief silence, Sadef asks Sirhat if Barak is going to be all right. Without answering her question, Sirhat gets into his car and drives away, lost in thought over everything he has just learned. In the kitchen, Erkan shows Tulay a news article featuring Barak attending the grand opening of the hotel with Sirhat. Looking at the photo, Tulay sarcastically remarks that Barak abandoned her bastard child with them so she could go off and enjoy her glamorous life. Not wanting Kader to hear the conversation, Erkan tells Kader to leave the kitchen while they talk. As Tulay continues reading the article, a sarcastic smile spreads across her face. Erkan comments that Barak and her wealthy family seem heartless for celebrating at the hotel opening while their child is growing up in a poor neighborhood. Tulay scoffs at his remark and asks why he feels sorry for Barak and her family before feeling sorry for Kader, who has been the one forced to suffer all these years. Determined to take advantage of the situation, Tulay tells Erkan to call a supposed woman immediately and demand for more money, otherwise she will create a scandal so big that everyone will learn the truth. Sitting alone in his car, Sirhat is overwhelmed by everything he has learned. As he stares ahead in silence, a memory flashes through his mind. In the flashback, Sirhat asks the doctor whether Barak gave birth to a girl or a boy. The doctor replies that his wife had a baby boy and that Barak wanted him to be named Kader. The memory leaves Sirhat shaken. He slowly steps out of his car, struggling to process the revelation and what it could mean for his family. 6 years earlier, Barak speaks to Sirhat on the phone as she is staying with her father. She asks if their daughters have settled into their new school. Sirhat replies that they have, but they miss her terribly and keep asking when she will come home. Barak tells Sirhat that her father is doing much better, but he still suffers attacks during the night, so she needs to stay for another week or two. Sirhat suggests canceling the rest of his business meetings, saying the girls can miss school for a short while and that nothing important will happen. Barak tells him not to cancel anything and asks him to be patient for just 2 more weeks. As they speak, she lovingly places her hand on her pregnant belly. Back in the present, Sirhat is overcome with emotion as he remembers the conversation and begins to cry. Elsewhere, Kader searches through the trash and finds a page featuring Sirhat and Barak at the hotel opening. Looking at the photograph, she softly whispers, "Mom." Just then, Zainab comes outside to throw away the trash. She notices Kader and asks why she is searching through the garbage. Startled, Kader quickly hides the page behind her back. Concerned, Zainab asks if she is looking for food and wonders whether she is being fed at home. Kader quietly replies that her aunt gave her a sandwich earlier. Relieved, Zainab says that's good, but she still asks why Kader was going through the rubbish. Kader simply says, "No reason," before running away. Meanwhile, Serhat tells his brother, Sihan, that Barak must have left behind some clue about the child, a photograph, a phone number, or something else. As he frantically searches through her belongings, Sihan asks what he is looking for. Unable to keep it to himself any longer, Serhat confesses that Barak had another child and believes she betrayed him. Sihan stares at him in disbelief, insisting that they are talking about Barak and that he must have lost his mind. In frustration, Serhat throws Barak's photographs onto the floor. Sihan then asks who the child's father is, but Serhat admits that he doesn't know and vows to find out. 15 days later, Serhat meets with his lawyer, who informs him that the divorce papers have been prepared. Without hesitation, Serhat signs the documents. He then asks whether there has been any progress in identifying the man Barak had supposedly been seeing. The lawyer hands him an address. Afterward, Serhat tells Sihan that he discovered Barak had been sending money to someone every month for the past 6 years after reviewing her bank records. He admits he doesn't know whether the payments were going to Kader's father, but he intends to uncover the truth. Elsewhere, Zainab finds her sister, Ezra, repeatedly trying to call her boyfriend, Okan. Seeing how distressed she is, Zainab asks what happened. Through tears, Ezra explains that Okan couldn't qualify for a loan, so he convinced her to apply for one in her own name. She reveals that she borrowed 200,000 lira for him. On top of that, he withdrew 70,000 lira from her credit card and even used her phone to apply for additional bank loans, bringing her total debt to 800,000 lira. Furious, Zainab scolds her sister for trusting him so blindly. As Serhat drives through the neighborhood, Zainab rides her bicycle carrying a basket full of roses. Distracted by his thoughts, Serhat fails to see her in time and accidentally knocks her off her bike. Alarmed, he immediately stops the car, gets out, and rushes over to help her. He apologizes repeatedly and offers to take her to the hospital, but Zainab insists that she is fine. Annoyed, she scolds him for driving so carelessly. Seeing the roses scattered across the road, Serhat offers to help pick them up. Zainab refuses, saying she doesn't need his help as he might crush her roses too. As they gather the flowers, their eyes meet for a brief moment before they both look away. Serhat apologizes once more. Zainab then asks if he is looking for someone in the neighborhood. He tells her he is trying to find a man named Erkan. She points him in the right direction and reminds him to drive more carefully. Serhat thanks her and tells her to be careful as well before driving off. Serhat arrives at Erkan's house. Just then, Kader sees him and excitedly runs toward him, calling out, "Dad!" Caught off guard, Serhat tells Kader that he is not his father. He gets into his car and drives away in haste, leaving Kader standing there confused and heartbroken. Zainab notices Kader sitting alone, looking upset. Concerned, she walks over and asks what is wrong. Kader sadly tells her that her father came to see her, but he didn't recognize her. Zainab is confused, so Kader takes out the paper with Serhat's photograph and shows it to her. Zainab immediately recognizes him as the man she met that morning after he accidentally knocked her off her bicycle. Surprised, Zainab asks Kader how she knows that Serhat is her father. Kader quietly explains that she overheard her Aunt Tulay saying so. Serhat tells Sihan that he went to the address the lawyer gave him. Sihan urges him not to go back there, warning that if anyone discovers what is happening, it could destroy the family's reputation. Serhat replies that he no longer cares about his reputation. The only thing he worries about is how all of this will affect his daughters if they ever learn the truth. Trying to calm him down, Sihan asks him to stop pursuing the matter. However, Serhat says too many things no longer make sense. He points out that on the day of the incident, Barak deliberately sent all the household staff home and that the security cameras had been switched off. To him, it is clear that she was expecting to meet someone in secret. This fills Serhat with anger. Convinced that another man was involved, he vows to find him and uncover the truth. Sihan pleads with his brother to think about his daughters first. He reminds Serhat that, regardless of what happened in the past, the girls need their father now more than ever and warns him not to let his search consume him. Zainab brings Kader to Serhat's mansion. When Serhat sees them, he is surprised and asks why they have come. Zainab explains that she brought Kader because the little girl believes he is her father. Serhat immediately denies it. Kader tells Serhat that she overheard her uncle Erkan saying he was her father. She then takes out the paper she has been carrying and hands it to him. Looking at him with hopeful eyes, Kader asks, "Are you my father?" Heartbroken, Serhat replies, "No." Trying to understand the situation, Zainab says she has heard enough and asks where Kader's mother is so she can take the child to her. Serhat reveals that Barak is in a coma after a serious accident and that the doctors are not sure she will survive. Kader is devastated by the news. Seeing the little girl's reaction, Zainab turns to Serhat and scolds him for speaking so bluntly in front of a child. Serhat tells Zainab to take Kader back to where she came from and asks her not to tell anyone about what she has seen or heard at the mansion. Zainab firmly replies that she did not bring Kader there to spread gossip. She wants answers. She asks why Barak abandoned her own child instead of raising her. Serhat admits that he still doesn't know who Kader's father is. Filled with anger, he says that if he ever finds the man responsible, he would strangle him for abandoning both Barak and the child. Concerned for Kader's future, Zainab asks what is going to happen to her now. Serhat repeats that she should simply take Kader back home. Before leaving, Zainab reminds him that, whether he accepts it or not, Kader is still his daughter's half-sibling. Zainab discovers bruises on Kader's body and realizes that the little girl has been beaten.